Um, the reason that I did this, the reason that I separate them so drastically as to go so far as to actually give them their own names, is that within my social mask, there are protocols. Within all of the masks, there are protocols. And, no matter what part of life you're talking about, you have your do's and your don'ts. But not often does a don't in one area of your life become a do in another area of your life. Without going into any great detail, I'm going to let you in on a little bit of my sub-lives. Within the metaphysical, the theological, the religious side of my life, I'm what would be termed most accurately as an eclectic ecumenical. Those are two very big words that basically mean I derive my religious beliefs from a very large variety of sources. And not always do the sources agree with each other in other areas. My basis is probably Judeo-Christian, but over that I have put other religious beliefs. A little bit of Celtic, or Celtic, depending on where you're at, how you pronounce it. A little bit of Egyptian, some American Indian, African tribal, a little bit of Greek or Roman. So my theological system is very broadly based, and there are some tenets of my theological that disagree greatly with some of the tenets of my social. Now, also, again, without going into any great detail, I will tell you that I am involved socially with groups of like-minded people that live in or practice what is known as DS or BDSM. I'm not going to go into any great detail on either of those. If you happen to know what they are, good. If you don't, there's the web. Go look them up. But to save myself a lot of psychological trauma, I've had to segregate the different parts of my psyche. Because within the DS-BDSM, certain things are allowable, whereas those exact same things are not allowable and are actually considered to be detrimental within my theology. And I think, just based on the way that I was raised by my parents, some of the things within my social groups, my social activities, would disagree greatly with a lot of the things that I was raised to think. And rather than giving up any of them, any of the way that I was raised, or the way that I interact socially, or how I believe theologically, I've decided at some point, probably 10 or 12 years ago, I decided to segregate them and to name them. And very much like somebody who has the psychological disorder of MPD, multiple personality, quite often, not always, but quite often, when I'm in a social setting, I won't respond very well to my day-to-day, everyday name, i.e. David. I definitely do not respond well to my theological or religious side of Denam. I just recently had an instance where I was very deeply into the psychology of the Tauran side of my personality, and something was said that brought to the surface of my mind my theological side. I won't go into any details as to what happened or what was said, but suffice it to say that the reaction within me was explosive, and it was very angry at myself and at the person that had initiated this departure from where I was. So I guess that's about all I have to say on the subject of my interesting psychoses. Self-imposed multiple personality disorder. Wonder if that's a new psychological or psychiatric discipline. Well, until later, this is David from the Open Road.